Hi, well, the rivers are inundated again for the nth time, so it was really pointless, I felt, going to a river. I got the report from the Offord and Buckton Club this week, and apparently the water's over the banks, so really pointless. So I've come over to the clay pit on the side ponds. The water level in the pond is quite high. In fact, it's come over onto the bank a bit here. Amazing, really. Anyway, I fished here in November on a freezing cold day, and on that occasion it was following a period of very cold weather. I blanked, but I did get a couple of bites. This time it's cold today. It certainly is cold, and we had a very clear night, but the forecast is for sun all day, so although it's winter sun, it may warm us up a little bit. Previous to the last couple of days, it hasn't been that cold, so I'm hoping things will be a bit better today. I got a couple of bites last time, but very tentative, and I felt a fish, but it was only a small one. But someone suggested to me, I was using corn on that occasion because I took the easy option. I had corn at home. But someone suggested to me, in these conditions, maggots are far better bet. So I went and got some maggots yesterday, and I'm tackled up with quite light tackle, 3-pound line on a 16 hook on the leader. So let's see what happens. It was either this or nothing, really. The rivers are just a waste of space at the moment. So we'll see what happens, shall we? Okay, let's get going. Right, all set up, ready to go. It's just gone 10 o'clock. I never start very early these days, especially on cold mornings. Right, so I've got a preloaded wagger. I've plumbed the depth. A couple of shot further down. It's preloaded, but it doesn't fully cock. Then a fairly light leader, which there are tension here, and I have caught them in coldish weather. If I get into one of those, I'll probably lose it, but we'll see what happens. I've got my Gray's travel rod, the float rod, which is a 6-section rod, but I carry it around in three pairs of 2 sections, if you like. What's this centre pin today? Oh, this is the Alcock's Flickum, as they call it, which is really a rebadged Rapidex. So I threw some maggots out earlier before I started sorting myself out, and we'll see what happens. As I say, last time I was here I got a couple of tentative bites. One I missed completely. The second one I made contact, but it wasn't a big fish. But I was using corn on a freezing cold day, and as I said in the intro, someone suggested maggot might be a far better option in these conditions. The water looks very clear, which always worries me, because when the water's very clear it usually means there's not a lot of fish movement, so it just remains to be seen what happens. There's a sort of overflow onto the bank there, and in fact that is it's got the remnants of some ice on it. Looks like I've overshotted that now. Oh, it was alright when I checked it in the side. I'll take one shot off when it comes back in. Yeah, I can hardly see that, there's only a little blob. Yeah, I'll take a shot off, can't see that very well. That's strange, when I tested it on the before I cast it, seemed to be okay. Let's take one of these off and get it off. Fingers are absolutely freezing already. I've only been here half hour. If you can hear the rattling and can't see it, it's me with my shot dispenser. I've taken to carrying a selection of odds and sods in one of my pockets here to save keep going to the tackle bag. I've got the disgorger forceps, plummet, little shot dispenser. Oh, that wasn't a very good cast. That was really a terrible cast, Robert. Right, that's not so bad. Have I got caught on those reeds? No, I don't think so. Yeah, I think I might have done. Oh no. So why was that doing that? Oh, we're having a bit of fun today, aren't we? Try again. It's probably not going to cook properly at all now with one shot on. It's always a problem at this place that the reflection of those, with the sunshine, the reflection of all those sort of dead reeds over there makes it very difficult to see anything. Well, that is weird. One shot makes all that difference. From being almost under to being very proud. But I'll leave it. At least I can see it. I wanted to be out further than that actually. The maggots I put out earlier were further out than that. Not a very good start really, is it? Messing about. Right, let's try again. That's better. That's much better. Right, let's see if there's anything out there. Well, we know there's something out there. More interesting is whether they're actually interested in eating today. Good morning. A bit chilly. As I say, the last time I was here it was absolutely freezing and had been freezing for a number of days. It was at the end of that very cold spell we had, or during that very cold spell, and I was really chancing my luck, and I might well be chancing my luck today. I had a choice today really of if I wanted to fish a still water either coming here or going to the little lake at Erith that I rather like. The only problem was that I'd never fished Erith in colder weather, so I didn't know quite how it would fish. There's probably a lot more fish in Erith and a wider species of fish, so it might have been a good bet. But it was a longer drive and it's a day ticket water, so I would have had to pay. And I've already got a ticket for here, I've got a season ticket for here. So I decided in the end to come here. Well, I've been here about half an hour. I know that's not a long time in fishing, but there hasn't been a hint of a bite. The problem is there's a very light breeze. It's hardly detectable really, but it's enough to cause my float to drift towards me from the far side. And I'm not sure that's a good idea. I really need the bait to stay static. So I just pulled the float up a bit. It's over depth now, and I'm hoping that the shot is now on the deck. A single shot on the bottom, and it'll stay where it is, which may give me a better chance to for something to nose around and find it. But it's not looking too hopeful, folks. It's always a challenge in cold weather. In still water, the fish, unlike in rivers where the fish have to use energy just to, well, if there's any flow they have to use energy to keep themselves sort of stable in the river. in still water like this, of course, they can just almost switch off. When I sit here, not moving, and getting cold, it reminds me why I prefer fishing streams where I can walk up and down trying different spots, because or rivers really, because you keep moving. The trouble with still water fishing is you're static, and you start to get cold a lot quicker. Anyway, I brought some my mitts with me today. They're quite clever really, because you can pull the end off and you've got fingers, so you haven't got a thumb, which is a bit of a problem. But driving here today, the sun was sort of partially in my eyes, and as it is this time of year, and I looked over to a field on the right of me, and I wasn't quite sure what was in it. There was a lot of white in the field, and as I got closer I realised that they were swans. And well, I don't know, there must have been at least 50 swans, if not more, all in one field. I don't know what the great attraction of that field was, but I've seen swans in fields before, and there's sort of a few of them sometimes, but there must have been at least 50, if not more, in this field. It was just, the whole field was covered in swans. It's amazing. I don't know why they go into fields. I mean, I don't think they can feed him. It was a cultivated field. There was no grass in it. It was all just earth. So I don't know what they're up to. But there we go. Nature. Even the birds are quiet on this lake today. There's usually an awful lot of bird activity, but I haven't seen the moorhens. They're usually always here. So I think nature may have had enough of this weather. Certainly the fish seem to have had enough of this weather. Well, that float's been there quite a while now in the same position, and not a tremor. Not a tremor. I've got a little robin coming down and eating the maggots, so I'm doing one good thing today. Well, I said 2 o'clock earlier. I was going to stay to 2 o'clock, but I'm not sure I'll last that long. There's a lovely winter sun, but there's really no warmth in it, and yeah, it's quite cold. They forecast about 6 degrees the temperature today. Which isn't too bad really, but obviously the fish don't like it. I've had another cast and I've put some more maggots, just a few maggots around the float, but absolutely nothing, not a hint of interest. I know there are small rudd in here and things, but and perch, I've caught small perch in here, but it doesn't seem that anything is particularly interested at the moment. They must be as fed up with the weather as we are. Well, there's still nothing happening. I tell you one thing, if you look at a float long enough, you imagine it's doing things, don't you? Yeah, the wind's affecting it a bit, which is a bit confusing, but there's a few ripples around it just now, and I thought, is that a bite? But I don't think it was. I think it's just the wind. You almost will the thing to go under, don't you? You sit here looking at it for so long. That float's been there about 20 minutes now. I haven't recast, I just let it sit there, and basically not much has happened. Well, in fact, I correct that, nothing has happened. So I think I'm revising my my decision as to when to pack up. It's just gone midday. I'll probably pack up at 1. I was going to stay to 2, but it's good to get out and it's good to try, but the indications are at the moment are that nothing's going to happen here today. I don't know if I can look down and if you can see the water there. It's crystal clear. You know, when it's clear like that, I always suspect that sort of the aquatic life is dormant. There's nothing to cause the silt to stir up and the sediment to be in the water that you usually get. But as I say, it's just gone 12. I'll give it till 1 o'clock and then I'll call it a day, unless something happens, unless things start to liven up a bit. If it wasn't for the fact it was so cold, it's a gorgeous day to be out. It really is. You know, this winter sunshine and the winter colours. It's really lovely sitting here if it wasn't so cold. It's interesting, over the far bank there they've got that orange plastic sort of fencing, for want of a better word, which is all around the far side, the far bank. You can only guess why it's there, but I can't believe they've done it to stop people fishing from that bank, because this pond is nowhere near big enough to have people fishing from both banks. But I can't think of any other reason why they would have put it there. I had 3 maggots on before. I've recast with just a single white maggot. I'm sure that's not going to make any difference, but it's a sort of a last chance saloon sort of thing, really. Sort of ultimate small bait. It's just coming up 12:30. I think I'm going to pack up at 1. I've not had a hint of a bite really, and my feet are starting to get a bit chilly. I just had a little stroll around. I spotted another guy fishing right over the far bank on the main lake. Over that side there's sort of narrow channels. This clay pit was... the lake was formed by excavating clay, which they used to build or sort of build the banking for some of the drains in the way distant past. And it's sort of in the summer you can see the sort of islands. They look like islands, but they're basically raised ground between the channels that they cut to excavate the clay. And over that side of the lake there are 2 or 3 of those channels. It's almost like fishing in a sort of short section of canal, really. Well, nearly 3 hours coming up without a touch, not a sniff. So I think I must assume that the fish are just not interested. I Can't go much smaller than a single maggot. And I don't think a bigger bait would have been any more attractive. I mean, say maggots. If a fish are feeding, maggots catch anywhere really, but I just don't think they're feeding. I think the weather has just been too bad, too cold. We had a lot of rain. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the rain affects the water at all, chills it, I don't know. Anyway, the bottom line is that I haven't really had anything that looks like a bite. I mean, say the float has done some odd things from time to time, but I think that's just the wind swirling around this little pond. So yeah, unfortunate, but it was good to come out and try. If you don't try, you never know, do you? But I think that's it really. I don't think anything different's going to happen. At least last time when I blanked here, I did have a couple of bites, but nothing today, not a thing. So there we are. I think it would be time to pack up very shortly. So my second winter blank on this side pond at the clay pit. I think I've got to conclude that this is not a winter venue. At least back in November I got a couple of bites, but I never got a touch. 3 hours today and not a touch. Gorgeous winter day, nice to be out, and you know, there's always the chance, as they say, but to be honest, the water in that pond was crystal clear, and I don't think there's much aquatic life moving at all. I think the fish are just more or less dormant. I went down to a single maggot in the end, but absolutely nothing. So anyway, as I say, the rivers are pretty awful at the moment, so had to try somewhere. Never mind, perhaps next time. I'm not sure how long it's going to take for the rivers to find down, so I'm not quite sure when I next go out, because still water seems quite challenging in these conditions. So at least, as I say, as I said before, with the rivers there's a chance of a chub, but at the moment I'm not sure even that. But there we go. So thanks for watching as usual. Thanks to the subscribers as always, and until the next time, it's bye for now and cheers.